Somebody's doing the Lord's work at Time Magazine. Here's what I like about it. So they try to do this fluff piece on kinks, which you only have a few of the 1% that are buying in and capitulating and acting like this guy is normal.
Right.
The remainder of us know that this guy is full-blown dementia, malignant narcissist, mentally ill, all of these terrible things. Well, Kylie, pop this up. Here's the image, and it says his triumph, and it's an undershot, which is so unflattering, and it has the neck vagina pumps, and of course he has seen this, and he is madder than a hornet. But what I like so much is that, somebody decided, okay, we're going to do a big story on Trump, and then some millennial somewhere probably was just like, I am going to fuck him so hard with the cover photo.
I loved it so much because it grosses me out that he's getting all this credit for this ceasefire when, they could have done it under Biden, but Netanyahu didn't want to do that. He wanted to wait for Trump. And here's the thing. Trump looks like shit. He looks like shit no matter what, but the underneath vagina is terrible. He looks bald. This man is so vain. He is so vain, which cracks me up because he does not do any of the things he should be doing to age gracefully. But I love this so much.
Okay, well, he's madder than a hornet about it. 1:30, 6 a.m. Lie Social Post. Time Magazine wrote a relatively good story about me, but the picture may be the worst of all time. They, quote, disappeared my hair and then had something floating on top of my head that looked like a floating crown, but an extremely small one, really weird. I never liked taking pictures underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why? And I'll tell you, somebody that works at Time Magazine thinks this whole story is bullshit and thought, I'm going to screw this guy over. This is a form of a mini resistance. And I think it's important that anytime we see resistance like this break through, because the industry leader capitulation, the university capitulation, the law firm capitulation, our allies capitulation has been so depressing. I mean, sometimes I see it. And he's got the fix in on these universities. I mean, it's just straight up bribery with them. And he is not very long-term ambitious, but he is surrounded by people that have very long-term ambition. And we have to keep building up this resistance. It's taken a while for it to get going, but we have to let it go. So kudos to whoever made the decision to put that perfect photograph of Kanks on the cover. But I dug into this, and here's what's interesting about this piece. The author of the Time Magazine piece has deep Jeffrey Epstein connections. Pop this up, Kylie. Epstein's ties to former Israeli leaders shake up election campaign. Mr. Barrack, this is the guy who wrote the article that Trump is the perfect person for Israel right now. A former prime minister and defense minister received money from a foundation associated with Mr. Epstein, and Mr. Epstein invested in a limited partnership by Mr. Barrack. And I don't know if it's Barrack or Barack. We're from Oklahoma. We mispronounce things, and so I'm open to correction. But it just seems like we're always 1 to 2 steps away from this Epstein thing. And I believe if Robert Garcia is able to get that 218th signature, if Moses Mike on BFFs with Jesus Christ, Pipsqueak Johnson will swear in that congresswoman, this is going to blow wide open. And so it's interesting to me that the person that wrote that article has such deep ties with Epstein. And as Pumps pointed out, Biden had this exact same deal during the election. And Netanyahu didn't want it. Netanyahu wanted this war. Netanyahu wants to ethnically cleanse Gaza, and he wants it to be an extension of Israel and real estate developments, condos, kind of like Miami Beach.
I completely agree. And here's the deal on the Epstein files. You have said, and we have talked about on this podcast, in Trump's cabinet and inner circle, some type of sexual abuse or sexual harassment is prerequisite. You've got Peter Thiel, big butt buddies with JD Vance. He's all over the Epstein files.
Let me ask you this. Was the butt buddies pun intended?
I wish I could say it was, but it wasn't. I would love to take credit. But I mean, all of these men that have close ties to Epstein are all good friends with Trump. I mean, it is no wonder that they're fighting so hard to keep the Epstein files from us.
Okay, and this is really interesting. This is a bit on MSNBC, and it shows that the shutdown is not only protecting the full release of the Epstein files, it's also accelerating Project 2025. So there are reasons, multiple reasons why they want this shutdown. It is a Republican shutdown. It is intentional. It is to erode the federal government, erode civil liberties, and to fire the federal workforce. Play the clip.
I think what he's trying to do with that trust aspect is important because the distrust in institutions is a key part of his tactic, is that he and Russell Vought are exploiting this moment to accelerate Project 2025. And I've been writing about that since 2023, been ringing this alarm about how Russell Vought and Trump, the fundamental core of Project 2025 is to twist the federal government into a tool of the far right. In order to do that, you have to purge nonpartisan civil servants and replace them with loyalists so that there's no pushback, right? Because the first term, the reason why we didn't see all of this is because there was people like Mark Esper that would say, no, Trump, you actually can't shoot protesters in the legs. And no, we can't have alligators outside of the border wall. Remember, that was a real thing. Like, we have alligators. But now, if you purge all the nonpartisan civil servants and you insert these loyalists, you get that unmitigated, unchecked, unitary executive.
People
you get Pam Bondi.
Okay, so 4,000 people were just fired this week from the federal government. And this is one of the biggest accomplishments that Project 2025 wants to execute. They want anybody who is nonpartisan, who just wants to show up and do their work with ethics and the interest of all Americans. They want all of those people fired, and they want loyalists in. And here's why. Because if for some reason we get to 2026 and there's a blue wave, and let's say we get to 2028 and there's a victory, they want to have all of their people in. They are getting the fix in. And all of these people are governing as though there will not be a transfer of power. Everybody in Trump's administration has committed perjury and committing crimes daily. I firmly believe, and this is just my opinion, that Elon Musk and Doge will be some of the biggest crimes, federal crimes that we've seen, what he did, the information that he's taken. The same with Donald Trump and all of the quid pro quo. I think the corruption and the federal felony charges, if we get there, are going to be so immense. So how do they mitigate that? You fire everybody. My husband's a criminal defense attorney, and all of these U.S. attorneys that he had cases with, Pumps, each week he gets an email. I hate to tell you, I'm so sorry I'm leaving the Justice Department. I hate to tell you, I'm so sorry I'm leaving the Justice Department. So all of these people that really care about the rule of law are leaving their jobs because they don't want to work for Pam Bondi because she is a criminal. Pam Bondi is working for Donald Trump because he is a criminal. Our entire country is being taken over by criminals on purpose. And so while it's shut down and while people are suffering, this is the point of it. They are completely culling the entire federal government.
Well, and Donald Trump said from the Oval Office, yeah, it'll be more Democrats. We're getting rid of, he's not even hiding the corruption and the partisanship. And the problem with this is, like you said, he's not planning on leaving. His allies are not planning on leaving. And that's terrifying. That's what scares me the most about this. And these fuckers are celebrating people losing their jobs. They like it.
Okay. And then this is a really important component that everybody needs to understand about this. Moses Pipsqueak Mike Johnson. He is at the epicenter of this authoritarian takeover. And this is where the Christian nationalists and Mike Johnson all fit into all of this. Mike Johnson either believes, but a lot of the people surrounding him believe, the ones that do all the tongue talking before they go into the White House and do the prayers before Caroline Leavitt goes out, they genuinely believe that they are engaged in spiritual warfare.
Right.
And that they are doing bad things, but they're doing it for God. They're firing people. They're taking away health care because God is going to favor them. And I know y'all think, oh, this is crazy.
Right.
I'm telling you guys, as people that lived in a deep red state where Jesus Christ, white nationalist, Christian evangelicalism reigns, these people genuinely believe this. They think if I'm doing anything for God, even if it injures other people, then it's okay. So put up this tweet and retweet. Here is the Bulwark is reporting the Speaker of the House is abetting authoritarianism. Bill Kristol retweets it and he says, to bring a democracy under authoritarian control, you need more than a strong man. You need politicians who will assure the public as we slide toward one man rule that nothing odd is happening. That's the role Johnson is playing in Trump's takeover. So you might say, why is he doing this? He's this big Christian because he believes they are going to make America a Christian nationalist nation. And here's the most depressing part of this whole thing, you guys. The 6 justices that fuck us at every turn, they want the same thing.
Yeah.
And forces long before Trump have been doing this for decades. When they started entering via the NRA, through the National Prayer Breakfast, and they started with the abortion stuff. This is their long-term goal. And this tells you how insecure evangelical Christianity is. If you live a faith that is free, you don't have to force people into it. This is the most toxic religion in the United States of America. All of these evangelicals that criticize the Taliban and extremist Islamic sects, they are every bit that. And these forces will not stop. And they're using people like Mike Johnson saying, oh, yeah, this is what God will want. And then you have this merger with these evil oligarchs like Peter Thiel. And he's just decided, you know what? Democracy is not compatible with the way we all need to live anymore. But I know I can't win that in the ballot. So I'm going to buy my way out of it. So these are incredibly dangerous times. And little Pipsqueak is at the epicenter because he thinks he is a foot soldier for God.
He thinks he's Moses, for God's sake. And you know, what's so crazy about this is they 100% think it's worth it. If everybody becomes a Christian, it's worth it. And let me just tell you from somebody who grew up in this, Christianity is based on white men controlling everything. It's a patriarchy. They want no rights for women, minorities, gay people. The only people are white men. So if you are not a white man that is rich, because they want your money too. If you're poor, they're not going to give a shit as much. Be very careful. And you need to be on your P's and Q's out at the No Kings rally, because that's it. That's who's at the top of the totem pole. Nobody else gives a shit.
And I just want to iterate here that I know that there are a lot of Christian light viewers that have a sense of faith and have a sense of social justice, just like that reverend, that woman in Washington, D.C. that schooled Trump. I know that that exists in this country. The Christianity we're referring to is the white evangelical Christianity that reigns through the Bible Belt. And these people started through Reagan specifically, a little bit more before that in the 50s, but really started getting a lot of energy moving forward with this plan. And it's all ended with a man who is able to capture a personality cult. And they don't give a fuck if he's Christian or not. They don't care if he screws porn stars. They don't care about the poor. They don't care about the sick. This is forced thought, forced nationalism, forcing everybody to be a Christian. And in their wildest dreams, it is full-blown Handmaid's Tale. And I'm not kidding you guys that live on the coast or in Europe. These people are serious. They are cruel. They are insecure, codependent. I cannot impress upon you all enough the moral depravity of white evangelical Christians. And all you need to do is look at history, because they were first rooted in the KKK. All right, listen, subscribe. A lot of you are not subscribed. You watch our videos all the time. You don't subscribe. We've had it with that. Buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Oh, a double promo.
Twins.
Look at that, pumps. Twinning. Buy it. It's linked right below in the show notes, and we'll be back later with more news.